been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Everything Goes TAK, where this guy talking right now,
TAK.
in the last 48 hours,
For how long?
relax. I was able to win $320 on FanDuel.
Rudy.
Yes, Aaron.
R-A-K.
Ace. $320,
Congrats.
baby. Oh,
Congrats to legalized gambling.
yeah.
Please, Minnesota. Please, please, please. This is my plea.
I'll tell you what, if I go to Florida, I won't be able to play this game anymore because, it's not legal there.
Oh.
Yeah, he got a big push, though. I mean, Pena.
What was it?
She was plus 650. Plus 650 at the time of the fight. It's the biggest upset besides Ronda Rousey losing to Holly Holmes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Did
so
you have,
so-
did you just have a feeling? Was it one of those?
Yeah, I did.
or-
So Nunez was fighting. Obviously, she hasn't lost in like 4 to 5 years, and
Since
they were
2015.
amazing.
they were showing this girl and talking about the past 7 finishes she's had has been like tap outs or something. I was like, you know what? This is free money that FanDuel is giving me. I never put my own money into it. I was like, I wish I would have put it all down. I put 27 for her to lose. And I fell asleep and I woke up. My brother would text me, TK, I really hope that you put that money down because she just tapped. And I was like, no way. And I just go my app, $170 in my pocket.
This is like the normal thing that you see, though. You see a champion just like Ronda Rousey. They get complacent. They think they don't got to train as hard. I mean, you look at the punches that Nunez was taking to the face.
Oh, yeah.
It reminded me of watching Nunez beat the crap out
Ronda
of
Rousey.
Ronda Rousey. I mean, she was
Yeah.
taking punch after that. Pena girl, I applaud her, but I tell you right now, Nunez would beat her 9 out of 10 times.
Well, they said she's been distracted because she just had a baby.
That's what I thought.
She had
Yeah.
a baby and everything.
Yeah, I just think
Oh.
the way she came out into that fight and she was just taking punch after punch after punch to the face. I don't know, something wasn't right, and you see it all the time in champions.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the fight? Because you said you fell asleep, Tyler. I didn't actually watch the fight.
I know that
So-
I was watching some of the highlights. I know that she was putting some big hits on her, like he was saying. I know eventually she got on her and made her tap.
Yeah. And it didn't even look like a real good chokehold. I mean, she was on her for like a couple seconds, and then the official stopped it real quick.
Dang.
And then,
Wow. I wonder if that was-
Dustin lost. He lost to Oliveira.
Yeah, he tapped out too.
He tapped out. So
Yeah, that's the only fight I kind of watched the highlights of because I was curious to see because I thought that was going to be a 5-rounder, but was surprised that ended early.
I watched a heavyweight fight, the prelims. I never saw a big man drop so fast in my life. Now let me tell you. Let me tell you how I won the second money. Now, right? So I
Greg
forgot-
Hardy.
No, it wasn't Greg Hardy. It was I don't even know the names. I would know them if you said them.
Like Greg Hardy is one of those dudes. He knocked out a guy once, though, and you're like, oh God.
yeah,
And you did this to a woman, and how do you still like?
Yeah, it's crazy.
We
but-
don't want to.
So this is how the story goes, right? I withdraw my money and I keep $20. I'm like, why not? So I do a parlay on the Saints game. I needed Alvin Kamara to have 75 yards rushing, Taysom Hill 50 yards rushing, and they both need to score. So they both
easy.
you would think it's easy, right? So going 2 minutes left in the game, they both scored. Alvin Kamara had the 75 yards rushing. All I needed was Taysom to get 50 yards rushing, and he only had 20. So I remember I had my girlfriend checking the phone for me because we were driving up to the outlets, and I was like, all right, it's cool. I'm not going to win. I get to the outlets, and I go into Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like, let me just check the app. And I see Taysom Hill had a 50-yard touchdown. I was like, no way, let's go.
Yeah.
Just like that, man. My friends were freaking out. They're like, I don't get how you're getting so lucky
I don't
right now."
gamble. It's against my religion.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian.
Hey, it's
You know, I
free
feel
money.
bad.
It's free money.
Yeah. Wow.
I haven't even used my own
God,
money.
that's congrats, dude. That's
Thank
awesome.
you, man. Go right my savings.
My wife played $30 on one of those. I think it was FanDuel or one of the other ones where you can play the casino games. I think I lost that in like 5 to 10 minutes. That's why I don't gamble. It's not worth
Yeah,
it.
there's
to me.
better ways to make money, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but as far
Everyone's
as UFC goes,
I
man,
like it.
it's tough to stay up for those fights unless
it's
they're
so
fighting
tough.
in Saudi Arabia where they fight in the afternoon. By the time
Yeah.
they get to the main card, it's freaking 1 o'clock in the morning here. It's
Yep.
hard. I just, and how many fights have we stayed up for where it's
over in a
over
couple
in like a
seconds.
couple seconds? It's like I waited all night for this, and then it's just horrible. So
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
tough.
watch much of it anymore. Ever since Connor left and Habib left, nothing pulls me because they all act like Conor McGregor now in their interviews and everything. It's just like It's a bunch of crap.
They have to be a brand because they know they're
Yeah.
like. Unfortunately, they're not getting paid crap, which sucks.
Unless you're
to that
McGregor, who's
regard.
getting $80 million.
So it's
But,
almost like
yeah, so they have to
WWE or
create a
something,
brand.
AEW.
Yep.
And they all hype this up. They talk crap to each
You know,
other. And
you
then,
have to put on a show. You see
Yeah.
that you see them show respect at the end of the match because at the end of the day, they're not really talking that crap. And it's like almost you have to put on a show if you want to draw in that money at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, although the
Well-
Habib and Connor fight,
That was real.
that was real. I mean, I saw like someone had videos of what Habib was saying to Connor as he was punching him in
Connor's
the
like,
face.
it's just business, man. It's just
Well-
business, and he's beating the crap out
Yeah.
of him.
That's what I thought I'd see out of Poirier and Oliveira. And honestly, I thought Nunez was gonna win that. Obviously, like she's a heavy favorite, but Pena seemed like a tough girl.
Hey,
so.
that was a heavy favorite in my pocket.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
None of that stuff pulls me anymore.
Best.
Just I know as you get older,
Really?
you need
I
bedtime.
thought okay, so a girl like Pena now, if she keeps
She'll-
on this, she could have like a Rousey or a Nunez.
Hot
don't you
take.
think?
Hot take. She loses the rematch.
Oh yeah.
I think she loses
Hot
next
take.
fight.
She loses. I mean, go look how she was throwing. Look how she was throwing punches. And I'm not.
Well, I
look,
didn't see it. So.
We'll go look at the ESPN highlights. I'm not
Yeah.
judging her. I'm not saying anything, but she looked like she had nothing behind those punches. She really didn't.
I mean, she put her on the feet though.
I understand, but she looked wild and out of control. And Nunez comes back and trains hard. She's gonna knock her out in the first round.
Nunez just had gosh.
Nunez just
All
did
right,
not
since-
look right.
So I think Valentina Shevchenko, who's in the weight below that, could challenge both, but she has no desire to move up in weight.
Yeah.
So
They
but I
mentioned
think
someone.
she's vicious.
Dana White was flipping out about someone today, and I forget the name he said, but he said that if Nunez would have won, she would have fought this girl, and I don't know the name, but they said it would have been the fight of the year. I don't know who it is. Maybe she fights Pena. Pena loses the title, and these two fight, but I don't know. But
Do you
I don't-
think, okay, truthfully, do you think some of that is scripted now? I wonder. I hate to even ask that, honestly.
I don't think it's scripted, but I think
I think it's.
I think Dana
has.
yeah.
Fixed
I think Dana has to put the best fights on the books.
Yeah.
To draw in, because let's face it,
Yeah.
he makes all the money he can off the pay-per-views and everything, so it's got to be a good card.
I feel like it's
Yep.
hard to fix a fight. You know, at the end of the day, you're fighting. You know, it's how do you fix
Well,
that?
you easily can just go in there and get it and tap out, or let
Yeah.
someone pound on you, and then
But
if someone's gonna throw $1 million at you to throw a fight, I mean, let's face it, it's been done.
Right.
I mean, what was the whole basketball thing where they shave points during games and stuff? I mean, there's ways to fix everything, but
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You can get in trouble for
It
that
was
though, can't you?
Las
oh, if you get
Vegas,
caught,
too.
yeah, if you get caught, you're
The
screwing
90s
over the
wasn't
bookies.
it the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the yeah.
Look at the
Shoeless-
mobs. Look at the
Shoeless Joe
mobs.
Jackson.
The mobsters back in the day, man. They used to pay fighters off to fall.
Wow.
That's what they did in the movies anyway. I don't know how real it is, but
Well, it's a new week. Big new week.
It is.
Ace, you started your Thursday night off with a very, very close game with the Steelers. A close 36-2. I feel like every week we come on this podcast, we talk about how
It
close
was
these Viking
29
games
nothing
are.
at halftime.
Ace,
It was
Ace.
29-0 or something like that at halftime.
let me interrupt
so-
for a second. This boy over here, look, he already got his head down in Florida. We just went over the run sheet and we said we're going to talk COVID out the box, and
you're
he
right.
just jumped
Yeah.
into something else.
Totally forgot.
See, look at he's already jet lagged.
I knew
Come
we.
on,
I,
let's-
Rudy, we're gonna have a hot seat over here. You got
Here,
to fill
hold
for
on.
us.
So Discord, God, we're doing like this is on air prep. Folks.
no. We'll go into the COVID protocol. We were talking so much that I thought we were already in the first part of our segment. So I know you got the COVID.
COVID
notes.
has wreaked its ugly head again in all the major sports. The NFL has been really, really hit hard lately. Tonight's game, Ramsey, Havenstein, Dayon, Higbee are out for the Rams.
Say those names again.
I don't know. And then just it seems like all of a sudden now we're having these major outbreaks. I mean, the
Outbreaks.
Cowboys just played just played the Washington team, and now Allen's out.
You got hockey and you got basketball going on.
Yeah.
You could also throw in there that Dallas played the Saints and 3 Saints
Okay,
got
here we
COVID.
go. Here we go. But anyway, in recent weeks, the numbers have gone from between October 31st to November 13th. There has been 81 positive tests between players and staff, the most of any 2-week period, making today's 37 in a single day a cause for alarm. This is the largest outbreak the NFL's had all season. And as Ty said, it's also affecting the NBA. The Chicago Bulls have canceled two games. I think they have 10 players with COVID, or they're in the COVID protocol, whatever they call it. And the Calgary Flames, the New York Islanders, and the Ottawa Senators have all had to be forced to cancel games because of COVID. My question to you all,
No.
are we back on the carousel? Do you
No.
think a lockdown is
No.
coming and will be...
No.
I mean,
No. I think there's so much that goes into this. I think you have so many people out there that are going to freak out. I think that these people, obviously, right, it's killed people, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, it's a very sensitive topic to get
cancers
into.
kill people too.
Yes, obesity kills people. You know,
Mhm.
how many people
Smoking.
is this affecting? You know, I think that these are
Driving
young. I
drunk.
think these are young athletes. I think they're gonna be fine. I think it's typical, like a 90% chance that these guys are gonna be totally fine. They're gonna come back. I don't think it's time to freak out.
Yeah, unless I missed it, I don't think I've heard of anyone. There's been a few UFC athletes that said it's taken a while to regain.
Yeah,
some
Amari
of the
Cooper's
respiratory function,
and
but-
Ty it was saying that, but Amari Cooper still has symptoms. But the thing I'm trying to explain to Ty is you have to have 2 negative tests in order to play in football. I mean, you could have heart condition and you can have lung problems months and years after you have COVID. I mean, there's people that are diagnosed with heart problems now after this. So this is it is serious. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, what are you going to do? I mean, you still have all these fans in the stadiums. Are we going to go to a lockdown again? Are we going to? I mean, look, you're seeing people now that can't even go grocery shopping if they don't have a vaccine. You know,
it's crazy. At the end of the day, I think that
Wait,
I'm
really?
Oh, yeah, that's
I saw.
coming.
I think that was in Canada, and I think you saw a lot of protests happen about
Mhm.
that. At the end of the day, though, I personally believe in myself. I know my body. I think that if I'm taking care of my body, if I'm not obese, if I don't have any problems with my lungs, my heart, I truly think that I will be fine. But obviously, many people don't believe that. But also, it's not a topic I necessarily want to get
Well,
into.
yeah, and the counter is, well, do you care about others though? Like,
Yeah.
are you like that sort of thing? And I have friends that are on both sides where
Yeah.
one isn't going to get it. Same with family actually too. So,
but the thing that's crazy though,
It's-
Ace, is that there's studies that show you have more antibodies if you get it without the vaccine than if you have the vaccine. And it doesn't matter either way. If you don't have the vaccine or you have the vaccine, you're still going to get it. You're still going to carry it. You're still going to spread it. But at the end of the
Correct.
day,
It's such a. I don't know.
it's like I look at it like this. I'm vaccinated. Did I want to get vaccinated? No, but we were getting ready to travel, so I thought they were going to shut us down. So I said, screw it, I'll get it. But I won't get the
Yeah.
booster. And I look at it like this. It doesn't matter if I have a vaccine or not. If God wants me, he's going to take me. All of our numbers will be drawn someday, and it doesn't matter to me.
It's a very sensitive topic. Let's get back. Let's get back to
No, I
sports.
get it, yeah.
Let's
I
bring it
can't.
back
It's
to
like
sports.
I'm okay. Hey,
Ty,
I'm trying
Ty
to,
don't like those political talks. He kind of gets
Well,
like
I don't wanna-
he gets tight in the butt cheeks.
No,
over
no.
there.
See, I don't
wanna
mind.
get myself.
Go
Look,
ahead.
we have 2 followers right now. We have Rudy and we have Gibby, and we have Johnny upstairs watching down on us.
Stop it.
And look,
Yeah.
they don't care.
I don't mind talking about
Nah,
it.
I
I just don't know if people want to hear us talk about that. That's kind of
I'm
how I feel
being-
about it.
I'm being mandated to get the flu shot.
Yeah.
On top of
Why? The
COVID,
flu's gone.
which I already-
He's just kidding.
I'm
As
just
my
gonna-
wife's
I'm
yelling
just
in the
gonna-
background. No, it's not.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, but you don't hear anything about it though. Do
I
you?
know it's
I'm-
very.
well,
That's
I
what's
said
very
too much.
interesting too. It's like what happened to the flu. You know, how many cases of the COVID with flu, and it's just like
Okay, to segue though back to football, because I'm like I don't want to start going down work.
Just in case his employer is
With
listening.
Jalen Ramsey and Tyler Higbee are both out
Yep.
for the
Oh,
Rams
yeah.
tonight in a huge game.
huge game.
So,
Who are they playing? They're playing the Cardinals, right? This is a huge game because
yeah,
the Rams have
Cardinals.
been struggling. Kyler Murray's back.
Dude, let's
right?
face it. If Arizona wins tonight, they wrap up the number 1 seed.
Yep. You know, James Conner has 12 touchdowns
yeah.
this year as a running back.
I need the Rams to win tonight because as a Cowboys fan, we do not want to be in the 4th seed, and that's where we're stuck right now. We're stuck in the 4th seed, which means we're gonna, as of right now, we're gonna get a good Rams team in the first round. We will be one and done. I want to move up to 3 and 4 and get like a Vikings team, a Saints team, you know, a Washington team, you know, possibly an Eagles team. That's where I want to be. I want to get one of those not so talented teams in the first round.
You gotta watch what you say. Gotta watch what you say. Gotta watch what you say. Hear that? You hear that talk about our
Fair.
teams? So let's talk. Let's.
But
fair.
you don't want to be there. Seriously, you don't. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't want to be the 4th seed right now.
You don't. No.
You're gonna get one home game unless somebody
Yep.
upsets Arizona or in Green Bay. But let's face it, Arizona, Green Bay, and Tampa Bay, in my eyes, Tampa Bay not as much anymore. I kind of don't worry about them. But those other two, man, I'll tell you what, I'm afraid of both of them.
It's tough. It's
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Let's talk about it, though. Let's talk about the recap. Ace, I would love to hear your take on your Vikings and Steelers game before we get into the whole Chase Claypool thing. Like we said, very interesting games, and I feel like every single week we talk about that. It's a nail biter every single week for the Vikings.
God. Yeah, TJ Watt, too, started the game, didn't finish. Dalvin Cook, oh my gosh.
Went off.
They
Heck
were
of a
feeding him
performance.
early and often. Yeah.
200
And
yards
just-
rushing.
and it added to it, too, once you got down to the Steelers. Steelers don't have much depth, unfortunately. And, like, that was the same for the Vikings. We put a lot of money into the offensive line, and it's been average. Or I shouldn't say a lot of money, but we've at least drafted, kind of done that thing the last few years. And on the other end, we've signed a bunch of defensive linemen. Sheldon Richardson is playing well. Michael Pierce, Dalvin Tomlinson. So there's a Dalvin Cook and a Dalvin Tomlinson.
A lot
How
of
about that?
Dalvins. A lot of Dalvins.
But I mean, again, though, we're that team that is like, well, okay, you wanted me to talk about the game. Now I'm rambling about. It's just comes down to execution. We got penalties, we got turnovers. I know we're going to talk about Chase Claypool, who basically, gave them life at the end.
I was going to ask you, like, if you had to pick one
it shouldn't
thing,
even have been that close.
if you had to pick one thing right now for the Vikings that you would say is killing them with these close games, what would it be?
It's in-game management. It's
Yeah.
terrible. And it's got to come down to coaching, because these players are making stupid, like, delay a game penalties in week 14 or any stupid thing that should be cleaned up. We're still making those.
Yeah.
Holding penalties. I get holding is almost every play, but they just make bad penalties and bad play calls in clutch situations, unfortunately.
I remember getting the
Like
update.
we were talking before about,
Minnesota
down to
is the
Florida and
worst
stuff,
good.
so-
Minnesota
like
is the
Chris
worst
said.
good team in football. I mean, you guys
Yeah,
beat yourself.
yeah.
You're 2-5 away from home field. I mean, you're 2-1 in your division, which is great. But you guys could easily be 10-3. Easily.
And like you said, Chris, it is stressful.
Oh my God,
And
yeah.
I-
I have a heart attack every week. The big one's coming soon. That I can guarantee you that.
No.
Oh my God.
stop.
You know how much I yell at my TV? I mean, the Cowboys were up 24-0.
Ty, record.
And, and in a blink of an eye, it's it's all over the place, and it's stressful because you can't enjoy a game where they just go
Yeah.
and stomp on the throat of the opponent and just run away with it. It never happens.
No. Let me tell you what, Dalvin Cook, heck of a game for Dalvin Cook. I think they talked about before the game, he had his arm in one of those wraps or whatever it is. And they talked about last time he had one of those and came back, it was against the Saints, and he put on a show.
Yep.
Let me tell you, I got the update. First half wasn't even over yet, and he had over 100 yards rushing already. Heck of a game by Dalvin Cook.
Beat him.
It's interesting when you watch that game. The Steelers caught a touchdown to end the game, but the guy dropped it. Like the Vikings really got lucky there at
That's
the end.
not a catch.
Because Big Ben,
Harrison Smith.
Big
Harrison Smith,
Big Ben
what up?
didn't play great, but I mean he put up 308 yards passing with 3 touchdowns. But that was the Vikings, man.
Well, that was all in that basically
crunch
that
time.
That was 17 minutes because I think they scored the first touchdown to make it 29-7 or whatever. Yeah, 29-7 at the 3.5 minute mark in the third. So at the end, so 17, 18 minutes. They really
it was until the end where
But-
a lot of defenses start to slack off because they're up big and you can see what
Well, and
happened.
You'll like this, Chris. Similar to Dak throwing that like boneheaded interception, the pick six. It's like, unfortunately, Cousins has these where our offensive line can run block super well, usually, unless they're going against a stout defense. They can run block well, but pass blocking's terrible sometimes, like depending on matchups. And Kirk Cousins will, it seems like once a game or a couple times will throw a duck, and it like he threw 2 interceptions too, which gave them those extra possessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But the thing that's amazing though is Minnesota is still sitting there.
I need Minnesota to lose, Ace, so that the Saints can make
Stop.
the playoffs.
You know what's funny?
yes. Well,
Look at the standings right now. If you look at the standings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The top 6 teams all won. The Washington football team, who is the 7th seed,
They
lost.
which is good for me.
And then after that, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 teams that won.
And Carolina lost, too.
It's a huge battle. Well, Carolina lost 3 in a row. They're in trouble.
I need Atlanta to lose, and I need the Eagles to lose. And I was looking at the Eagles' schedule, and it's pretty easy.
Did you guys play Washington?
Oh, I don't think. Oh my god.
Because I wonder if that's why they jumped ahead of you. Because last night when I saw the standings, they had Minnesota as the 7th seed. And this morning I looked, and now it's Washington's up there. So if it's head-to-head and you lost to them, that explains why they're ahead of you guys.
Oh, it says it right here. It says.
I didn't think so.
So there's nothing in this box because Washington's
no.
in the 7th spot, and it says Washington wins the tiebreak over Philadelphia based on the best win percentage in the division. And then it says the division tiebreak was initially used to eliminate the New Orleans because Atlanta wins, ties, breaks over the New Orleans based on head-to-head win. It's like some weird stuff they got in there.
Yep.
There's nothing about Minnesota. Minnesota just says that they have the win over the Philadelphia based on
Yeah, but that's weird
percentage.
because Washington's
so
1-1.
Chris-
1-1 in the division. Minnesota's 2-1 in their division.
Oh.
So if they're
Well, no, but they hadn't. Oh wait, yeah, that is weird actually.
It looks like
Maybe they hadn't played yet, so it's based off percentage.
it is. It's based off percentage. It's a weird thing they got going.
So like maybe they only counted the Redskins. Sorry,
yeah.
the Washington football team as.
Watch your mouth, Aaron.
I'm sure.
My girlfriend said that over the weekend. And I had to remind her. No, sorry,
It's not the Redskins anymore. Now,
Major news on Fox News. The local podcast is being sued by Redskins.
Okay.
so let's talk about it real quick. Obviously, the big news was the Chase Claypool situation. Early in the game, you had him. Have a first down. This is where I watched this with my buddy, and I said, "This is where NFL athletes are stupid." So he gets a first down early in the game, and there is a ref literally standing 1 foot away from him, and he sticks his finger in the guy's face mask. Like, there is a ref 1 foot away from you, and you're gonna act like you didn't do anything. Throws the hands like, "Oh my gosh, what did I do? What did I do?" So I think he got benched for a little bit. I think Tomlin benched him for that. Comes in the game. There's about 40 seconds left. The Steelers don't have any timeouts. He gets a first down. They're in the red zone against Minnesota. And instead of hurrying, handing the ball to the ref, he gets down on a knee, shoots his fingers up for the first down, takes his good old time, which a lot of people say they probably could have got one more play in if he didn't do that.
Yep.
You watch the lineman run up to him, snatches the ball out of his hands, tell him, like, "You're an idiot. Like, what are you doing?"
What did you guys think in the moment? Because like in the moment, I'm thinking, what? That
It's
makes
just
no
a
sense.
young athlete making a big play and not thinking with how much time's on the clock. I mean,
The lineman went up to him too.
Yeah.
There was a lineman. I don't remember the whole thing, but the lineman went up to him. I
Grabbed
think
the
he
ball
kind of
from him.
shook him,
Yeah.
or one of them. Yeah,
It's
there
a
was, like,
learning
little
curve.
shoving.
I think if you're a
It's a learning
veteran,
curve.
I think if you're a veteran, you go over there and like you yell at him, like, "Yo, you have to know the
Yes.
situation you're in."
I think what Tomlin should do is Tomlin should at least bench him for a game just to get his head out of his butt because you're new to the league. You can have a bright future ahead of you, and
Yeah.
you're already doing stupid crap like this.
I love.
Yep.
I would bench
If
him.
you hop on the Pat McAfee
Imagine what-
podcast, the one guy's a big Steelers fan. He's like, "Man, like every year I have to hate one Steelers player, and now it's him. He's on TikTok. he's on TikTok like Juju. He's doing these stupid things that are causing flags, and I just."
Makes no sense.
It's not like he's a rookie either. This is I think it's his third year in the league.
But
You
he
know.
really hasn't started before. I mean, last year was like his first coming out.
It's just.
But
look at what Juju's done to himself after that. He signed. Guess what? After he's had this little TikTok antics and he did the stuff on the field, he got a 1-year deal, and he hasn't done crap this. He's not even. He might.
He
not
got
even
injured.
playing.
He
He's
got
injured.
He had season-ending
perfect.
surgery.
See,
Yeah.
that's how much.
But see, that's why he needs TikTok so he can make that side hustle money because
Yes.
his NFL career is borderline.
But dude, like to not have the wherewithal to me is frustrating, and I can only imagine what film room was like, what film session was like in front of everybody. Seeing that, like they all knew what happened.
you know
or at
what?
least some
Yeah,
of them.
imagine watching that film and the coach is just like not even saying a word, just
But
staring at
let's
you.
face it, every team has that. I mean, look at Zeke. Zeke
Yeah,
used to do the
yeah.
spoon thing. You got CeeDee Lamb does that thing where he goes across his nose. I don't know if he has a cold. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, but that stuff.
But you know what?
Everyone does that, but you have to
still.
know when to not do it.
I know, but when you're young and dumb
Wait, is
and
it like
you're in the moment, you just jump up, you do stupid things. I mean, Me personally,
But he didn't jump up. He took a knee.
I just think the NFL should do the same thing that they do in college football in this. Well, basically the fourth quarter, you get a first down. The clock stops till they mark the ball. Because let's face it, these officials are old.
They take
don't
forever
always get the.
sometimes.
I mean, you can lose 15 seconds before they spot the ball.
That's one thing. I do love some of the things they do in college football.
I mean-
I totally agree that when they get a first down, the clock should stop until they. We've watched a Michigan game where they
Kick a field goal 1 second.
They were spotting the ball,
Yes.
and as they're spotting the ball, the field goal team is running onto the. Who's playing music? Is that you?
That's so weird.
It was perfect timing, man. I felt like I was getting ready to do a motivational
was
speech
that?
right there. One of my videos started playing.
Yeah, but I think that's some of the
Silence.
things. That's some of the things that the NFL should do. They should look into stuff like that. I think it's going to make a better sports outcome at the end instead of it running off like that.
Yeah, especially their overtime rules too. But that's another thing.
On-air
we gotta do.
production, let's keep that as a note to discuss later on.
Yeah.
Not like today, but like NFL, like, because officiating, honestly, heck, 6-figure job, I might change careers.
Hey,
But I still
They need some young bucks in there.
they do.
I still wish they would have what college has. They have that official up in the top in the booth that's watching a live feed
absolutely.
where they can say nope, no pass interference, pick up the flag.
Yeah.
No, I mean they do it for if they have a player that's injured. They blow the whistle, they blow it dead on the field, they buzz down and say, hey, that guy has a head injury or something, get him off the field.
Yeah.
So why not do it for penalties?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it would speed up
Makes
the
no
game.
sense.
Well, they do that now. Do that.
Do.
I've seen in games where if there's someone up top that watches for concussions, where if a player gets a hit,
Yeah, they buzz down.
They will call a timeout and say
Yes.
you need to come off the field.
But they should do that for penalties. They
should.
could easily buzz down and say, nope, that wasn't interference, pick up the flag.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to make the game
How concerned do
better.
you think they are? How concerned do you think they are, though, about the time?
They're not.
I think they're making so much money that it
No.
doesn't even matter.
They're
Like
not.
they're just like, whatever.
And you know
Whatever,
why-
refs, we'll-
You know why I totally agreed to with you talking about first down, why the clock should stop, is you see some of these guys, when they make a tackle, they will lay on them.
yes,
and not
yes.
let-
Like Lattimore, where he did the CD Lamb.
Yeah, yes.
And digging his arm
that-
into his
I
side.
don't remember that.
Dirty play.
I just think, like, obviously that's smart on a defense's part, right? Slow him down, but that sucks because that should be a flag, or
you can
should,
get a flag for that.
or you should stop the clock until the ball's set.
They do have
So-
flags for that. They will call delay of game.
The Patriots, the Saints. There's probably a few others I could think of. Those
Cheaters?
teams.
Is it cheating if you're
they
just
win.
tackling
They
hard?
win.
Is it
They
cheating
win,
if you're
though.
tackling hard? I don't see tackling hard as a
They
cheating.
use everything to their advantage. And I think that's smart to a degree, because it's like, okay, if on the other end, if a dude can like get up, throw the ball back to the ref, or have their center basically he could throw it to their center, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot quicker. I mean, I know he still has to run back into position, but I don't know, if the clock stops though too, then you could, I think, then you're allowing players to celebrate more too, which I don't know if the no fun league. Do you think the NFL
no fun
really
league.
will-
No fun league.
Yo, when does Minnesota play Green Bay again?
Not till later in the year. I was looking at.
There's only like 4 weeks.
I
left.
was looking at
So,
Minnesota's
January
schedule.
2nd.
Okay.
It's the same day I asked him 2 years or a year ago to start this. 2020 or 2019. Yeah, 2020.
Because if
No,
Arizona
2019. Holy shit.
if
Sorry.
Arizona loses tonight, theoretically, they'll be 10-3. If Green Bay loses to Minnesota, they'll be 10-4. Dallas beats the Giants, they'll be 10-4. Dallas would then jump up to at least the third seed and pass Green Bay because they have a better conference and division record than Green Bay.
Well, Dallas ain't going to the Super Bowl, so that's a very
So
far
you know what?
imagination.
I'll
know
tell you
what
right now,
helped
Dallas
Green-
ain't going to Super Bowl.
Guess who Green Bay plays next week?
Who?
The Ravens. Lamar Jackson's likely out. So
Well, he has a lower ankle sprain
Yeah,
now,
he
which
avoided
is
high ankle.
is making him limited now.
Let me tell you, that backup quarterback they have, it's just a copy of Lamar. He's good.
Dude, they'll shoot that freaking ankle up. He'll be playing.
yeah, probably. Who's the backup?
Huntley, or
Something
however you say
Huntley?
his last name, he literally looks like
I'm not
Lamar.
sure.
I watched him juke 6 defenders to gain 5 yards because he was about to get sacked. It was amazing. He's got a cannon. He can run. He can do it all, just like Lamar. It literally looks like Lamar playing quarterback.
Oh, Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
tonight's gonna be a great game. It really is. We're gonna see what Arizona has with all their weapons on the field. You know, this is the first time they've been really healthy. The Packers, I'm not really worried about the Packers. I mean, I'm worried about Aaron Rodgers. I'm not worried about the Packers as a whole.
The Packers do not scare me. They're not
no.
blowing teams away.
Aaron Rodgers scares me. That's who scares me because he always shows up he's like Batman, you know? He always shows up at the right time. Tampa Bay, I tell you what, Tampa Bay though, I'm not fearing Tampa Bay.
Hot take: New Orleans beats Tampa Bay and Tampa this week.
Good. That'd be great. We need it. Tampa Bay struggled against the Bills.
Well, Bills are good. Bills have got good defense.
Bills are just all over the place. But
No, the Bills. Nope. You know how to beat the Bills. I'm sorry.
yeah,
There are you can run all over the Bills. And speaking of that, the Titans are going to be getting Derrick Henry back
In the
potentially.
playoffs.
Could you imagine? Like, I don't know how healthy he'll actually be.
Imagine he ruins it for them. Comes back in the playoffs, fumbles 2 times.
Oh,
I honestly don't think there's a solid team out there I think Arizona is the only real team that scares me. I think a lot of these teams are beatable. You know, you saw the Bills are really hot and they started to fall off. They were losing
Lost 2 in a row.
They were losing to teams that weren't even good. You've seen Tampa Bay not really blowing teams out. I mean, they were blowing the Bills out for a little bit, but I mean, everyone thought the Rams were the best team in the league, and then they went downhill real quick.
The AFC, to me, I think the AFC, you could see a team that stands out amongst them all.
I think it's New England.
No,
Kansas City.
I think Kansas City is legit. I think I mean, it took them 12 weeks, but they got their crap together.
Well, Patrick Mahomes back there. There's always a chance.
Yeah, but their defense has only given up 10. Ever since they signed Melvin Ingram, their defense has only given up 10 points a game. They're balling.
They destroyed the Raiders.
Yeah. And now you're getting a team. I mean, they lead the league in drop passes. So that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, we talked about Tyreek Hill dropping passes.
But you look at how they're playing now, they're getting that chemistry back at the right time, where teams like Dallas are losing it at the right time, apparently.
We talked about that last week on the podcast, how it is important to get hot at the right time. I would rather be sucky all year and get hot right before the playoffs, and you saw that with Tampa Bay last year. Tampa Bay was not doing well. You saw the Saints beat them 2 times during the season. Tampa Bay got hot right at the end of the season, and they go make a run to the Super Bowl, and they win the Super Bowl.
I'm really not impressed with, and I know everyone's like, oh God, New England. I'm not impressed with New England. I just think the AFC as a whole is weak.
that's a great point because I was just going to bring up the fact that they play at the Colts, Indianapolis, this weekend.
But my thing is Mac Jones don't get me wrong, he's got wonderful stats, most consistent rookie quarterback basically in NFL history, blah, 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 but whatever. But the thing is he's not he's playing safe football.
Is that a bad thing?
No, I'm just saying, but come playoff time,
it's smart.
When you come playoff time where you have to throw the big ball, and he
can,
but
though.
he hasn't all year is what I'm saying.
I mean,
I'm not afraid of him.
And that's why I think this matchup this weekend against the Colts is going to be interesting because the Colts, like I've learned that it comes down to offensive, defensive lines, and the Colts have a solid offensive line. Same with, I don't know how they got to be decent defensively, obviously.
Well, Belichick's a defensive coach. He's always been.
Yeah, he's a genius, but I'm curious. I don't know. This matchup is going to tell me a lot about the Patriots. I agree with you, Chris.
But I'll tell you right now, if you take New England and you play them against Kansas City tomorrow, I fear Kansas City more. Kansas City has all the weapons.
New England's defense.
Name one receiver on New England's team. I couldn't.
New England, I give you that. New England at first didn't play any real teams. They played the Jets twice. They played the Texans, right? They were losing to teams they should have beat. But then they went on that stretch where they beat the Chargers, right? They beat Carolina. They beat the Browns. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Titans. They beat the Bills. Like, they're starting to beat big teams.
Yeah, but they've beaten teams that were struggling. I mean, the Browns were struggling at the time they played them.
But
the Chargers, look at where the Chargers went from. They were doing, like...
At the end of the day, we can't say, they beat a struggling team. Like, at the end of the day, it's still an NFL team that they beat, you know?
Yeah, but they played them during the whole OBJ outcome and all the stuff they were just coming off of.
And what do they always say? You take one game at a time. You focus on that next opponent because at the end of the day,
it's a dub. Don't get me wrong.
In front of you.
It's a W.
I hate that. Yeah. I hate that statement. You play who's in front of you. Yeah, okay. Thanks for the obvious.
But I tell you right now,
I get it.
if we got to the playoffs tomorrow and New England lost the first round, I mean they got to bye if they're the number 1 seed. But if they lost their first game, would you honestly be surprised? I wouldn't be.
You know, I'm looking
No.
at New
Well-
England stats, and like, I mean, it's good stats. I mean, you have Mac Jones almost throwing for 3,000 yards and 16 touchdowns. You have the receivers with two receivers with almost 700 receiving yards. I mean, they're throwing the ball.
Yeah, underneath.
if
I
they
mean,
beat-
they're playing it. I'm not saying. I said all
What if
his
they're the
stats
2
are
seed?
amazing.
What if they're the 2 seed though? What if they are the one? What if they get home field advantage? They could at least get a couple games maybe with. Who do they have? I'm trying to look up their schedule.
Oh, they would play
Quick.
if they would play Buffalo first round. If they were the 2 seed and Tennessee was the 1 seed, they'd get Buffalo the first round.
They play the Colts, and then they play the Bills again, and then they end with Jacksonville and the Jaguars. So there's a very good chance they end with getting the number 1 seed.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, if they were the 2 seed now, they would get Buffalo the first round of the playoffs.
Okay.
And Allen's in a walking boot, by the way.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, after
God.
the game, he was in a walking
A
boot.
full day goes by and this is all. God, there's so much breaking news.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the COVID. I knew Chase Claypool, but
Yeah.
There's been
Gosh,
a lot of injuries. There's been a lot of.
But I mean,
injuries.
if you look at the AFC, I mean, New England, the Titans, the Chiefs, Baltimore, the Chargers, the Colts, Buffalo. I mean, there's not one team that I would really, other than Kansas City now, there's not one team that I would be like, oh my God, I'm afraid of them. Because they've all been beat and they all have been having struggles. Where if you're in the NFC and I'm looking at Arizona, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, nah, I don't want to play them. I don't want to play them the first round.
who are your 6 and 7 seeds? Do you guys want to do that quick? We
Yeah,
can
we'll
just
do
go
that
around
real
and say-
quick. Are you talking about AFC or NFC?
Well, both.
As far as you think are going to finish in those 2 spots?
Yep.
So I'm gonna go on
Yeah,
a
so
limb
like-
here, and I'm gonna say. So right now in the AFC, you have the Colts at 6 and you have the Bills at 7, right? I think the Bills are gonna blow it, and I think they're gonna drop out. And I think you're gonna have the Colts and the Browns finish in the 6 and 7 seeds.
Wow.
That's my hot take right there. You're the Bengals right there, but I just think look at Denver slowly sneaking there too. Denver's 1 game out.
Well, if
So
you
I
go ahead,
think
go ahead, Ace.
I was going to say the Browns. I think 3 teams get in from that division, and I think the Colts. Even if they win now, I think they still have an advantage. And the Chargers.
Wait, how many teams
No,
get?
the
How many
Chargers could
teams
get
get
the
in?
4
8
or
teams?
5.
Is it
Seven.
7? All right. Why is it have?
So- yeah,
number
so
one,
like-
number one gets a bye.
Wait, did you? Okay, well, did you just say AFC? I
AFC.
completely-
Yep,
AFC.
AFC. Yep, AFC. I said the Browns and the Colts.
Yep. Oh Jesus, I completely No, I can't copy you. Sorry.
No. You can
can't
if you want to call me, go ahead. If that's who you think's gonna make it in, go ahead. Like you can agree with me.
No, there's
I
gotta
think
be-
the Bengals are.
I'm gonna say the Bengals. I'll say the Bengals. Even you know what? I'm gonna say the Ravens. I'm actually gonna say the Ravens because they play the Packers next. I don't know who they play. but
Ooh,
I
do you think the
know.
Browns are gonna win the division?
Ravens and
Ooh.
the Dolphins? Ravens and the Dolphins. They're mine. Yes, and the Bengals win the division.
Oh,
Bengals win the division.
So what happened to the Browns?
like
The Browns
that.
don't make it.
The Browns. Well, they could. I guess they'd end up being if they get to 10 games, they could be the 4 or 5. Which, again, like I don't know who they play, but
Wow,
just knowing that the Ravens likely
the Browns
this
get
is going to be a tough match.
the Browns get the Raiders, the Packers, the Steelers, and the Bengals. So that last game of the year could be for the division.
That could very well be.
No, the Browns might win 2 of those. They're lucky to win 2 of those.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm hearing
Sorry,
some,
Cleveland.
Let's hear some heat. All right, let's do the. Wait, go
Chris,
ahead. Go ahead.
Cincinnati's got a tough schedule. They got to play
What about
Denver.
Pittsburgh?
They play at Denver.
No,
they
I'm
got the
not picking
Ravens. They
Pittsburgh.
got the Chiefs and the Browns. Cincinnati will not make the playoffs.
Ooh, hot take here.
Cincinnati will not make the playoffs. They're not going
I
to win
wish
that.
I knew that before I said mine.
I'll tell you right now, Buffalo plays. They got Atlanta. I know that. Buffalo plays the Panthers, the Patriots, the Falcons, and the Jets. Buffalo's getting in. I'm sorry. I'm going to stick with Buffalo, and I'm going to stick with the Colts. Colts are going to knock
That's
off.
if Josh Allen plays.
Colts are going to knock off. They can get a high school kid to quarterback that team. They're going to win that game. There's no one in there is going to beat them. New England's going to lose this week to the Colts. The Colts are going to stay in, and I think the Bills are going to stay in. I think the division's going to be up for Baltimore. It's going to be. I don't know. I don't know if Cleveland's going to be able to do it. I really don't.
Oh, I can't wait to do the NFC.
Let's see.
I forgot the Raiders and the Broncos too.
Raiders are
I
done.
don't-
Trash in
Dude.
the garbage. Call the season.
But
It's
there's
over.
so there's
Dude, Cleveland plays the freaking Raiders, Packers, Steelers, and Bengals too. That's a lot of tough games. It's gonna come down to
there's
the last
nine
week.
teams, 9 teams in the AFC within 2.5 games because of that dumb tie by the Steelers.
Yeah, well, you think about it. The 2 wild card spots have 7 wins, and then you have 3 teams that also have 7 wins that could get in. Now here's my NFC picks. You ready for this, guys? You ready for this?
Yes.
Currently Washington and Minnesota is holding the 2 spots, right? This is my prediction.
49ers. Sorry.
Oh wait, what? I don't.
think
No, the
it's
49ers are in the 6th spot. So wait, how many teams make it?
7.
Then why do they have like a separate 7 and 8 spot here?
It's
It
7.
looks weird. Yeah.
It's 7. The number 1 team
look
gets
at
a
that.
bye.
So this
Who
is-
plays 7?
Oh man, I forgot about the 49ers. Darn it! I wonder how hard their schedule
Wow,
is.
Washington plays Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. All division
Hey.
games.
And by the way, the 49ers, I think with the Cowboys, probably have the top offensive line in the divisions. So keep that in mind, not to sway. Ow, God. Ow, sorry, I hit my elbow.
The 49ers have a somewhat medium schedule. They do play the Rams and they do play the Titans.
Yeah, they
This
got
is
the
my prediction. right?
Falcons, Titans, Texans, Rams.
I believe Washington's going to drop out of that 7 spot.
Absolutely.
I believe the 49ers are going to drop out of that spot. I believe the Vikings are going to hold in there. I think the Vikings are going to make it. I think they have a good enough team to make it.
You're too kind.
Gosh. And I think it's going to either be the 49ers or the Saints that get that last spot because the Saints schedule. So you know what's crazy? 3 weeks ago, I predicted the Saints end in schedule, right? I wrote it down. I said we're going to lose to the Bills. We're going to lose to Dallas. We're going to beat the Jets. So far, all of it's come true. I have us losing to Tampa Bay and winning the rest of the games and finishing 9-8. I would love for us to finish 10-7. But man, am I predicting these games well? But I think the Vikings and 49ers, it's going to come down to those two,
Minnesota's
and I really
going-
hope the Saints can sneak in somehow.
Minnesota's going 2-2 at the end of the season. They're going to beat the Bears twice. That's it.
Hey, after what Justin Fields did, God, I am not hopeful for them trying
I mean,
to stop
I
that.
hope to God you guys win out. That'd be nice because you beat the Rams
Yeah.
and then you beat the Packers on top of it. I mean, that'd be great. I mean, I hope you do beat the Packers. I don't know, man. Aaron Rodgers in December and January at home.
You know my hot take right here? Ready? The Eagles are going to start Gardner Minshew against Washington. Jalen Hurts won't be ready. I don't know if he will or not. And everyone's
this
going to
weekend?
everyone's going to have a lot of hype around him, and they're going to lose, and they're going to drop out of the wild card spot because they still got to play Dallas.
Last game of the year.
So I don't
I
think they're going to do it.
This is what they wanted for the NFL. Like the NFL wanted this.
I love how close it is. I love how close. Everyone's like, wow,
so
these
there's
teams.
7 teams.
Yeah.
If the Rams lose, there'll be 8 teams that within 2 games. Right now there's 7. So depending on how this game goes tonight, that'll kind of be telling. But okay, you said 49ers, Vikings.
Washington's done because they're hammered with COVID.
Yeah, you know what?
And who knows how bad Heineke's injured.
I think they just took
It's
him out because
ugly.
he got hit 7 times in the game.
Well, he was limping though.
I think. Oh my God!
I
this
think
is tough.
Detroit's
I
gonna
think
take the 7th
49ers Detroit wins. They couldn't even. Detroit. I think 49ers and the Rams will stay 4 and 5. Oh no. No, I guess 5. Okay. 49. I can't copy. Saints and 49ers. Or
Ooh.
I mean the Falcons, but they just look.
They have a hard schedule.
The Saints have one of the better defenses too. That's
What
they
I
gotta
think will
keep 'em
save
up
us.
there.
I
And
think the
Kamara,
defense. Kamara had an amazing game. I think the Saints' defense is what's really going to save them for the playoffs.
I mean, no joke. I'm going to keep saying this until they do it, but just have the wishbone with Taysom Hill, Ingram, and
Yep.
Kamara.
This
Or
is the
put in
Falcons.
whoever else you
The
want.
Falcons are going to go 1-4. They play the 49ers, the Lions, the Bills, and they end the year with the Saints.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, the Lions?
I'm looking at the 49ers schedule. I mean, I can easily see them losing 2 games too. You think about it. If the Rams win tonight, if they win tonight, they're only a game out of the first place in that division. They end the season against the 49ers. You think they're not going to come all in? Now, if they're locked into the 5th seed, I can see them resting people in the 49ers winning that game going 3-1. But
Yeah.
if it's all on the table yet, the Rams are going
I
to beat
think-
the Rams are going to beat the 49ers last game of the season.
Didn't they get embarrassed by the 49ers earlier, or was that either way? I thought they got embarrassed by them or the Cardinals, the Rams, earlier in the year. So
I don't know, but you think about it. That
Regardless.
tonight's game lays it all on the line, because if the Rams lose tonight, they're going to be 3 games behind Arizona. So this is a must-win. I mean, they have to win tonight. They win tonight, they're only a game back.
So they got beat by 17 and by 21, respectively, by the Cardinals, 17, and the 49ers, 21. Both, well, no, one was on the road, but regardless. You're right. This is a huge matchup.
Huge. So while we're talking about the 49ers, we might as well talk about the topic that we wanted to bring up earlier. 49ers, 7-6 right now. Jimmy G's been playing a pretty decent year, making a very good case for himself. You have the 49ers who are in a very big predicament, right? You give up 3 first-round picks to go up and trade for Trey Lance, who you're hoping is going to be your future. But now you have Jimmy G, who is handling the situation very well. He's playing well. They're in the playoff hunt right now. They're in the playoffs right now if they win today. If you are the GM, the owner, what are your thoughts on this season? Do you trade Jimmy G because there's a lot of teams that need a QB and you can build around Trey Lance, or do you let Trey Lance develop around Jimmy G?
No.
Do you trade Trey Lance?
No, you don't trade Trey Lance. I think you keep what you have. Jimmy G's already on a contract. You're playing well right now. You keep him and let him be your starter. Give Trey Lance isn't ready for the NFL yet. He's not ready. I think you give him another year to develop, and then after Jimmy G's contract's up, you let him walk.
I think that's good. I like that. What about
Which
you,
is
Ace?
next year, so they have next year, basically.
Oh, and by the way, since you guys didn't ask me, everything goes with just K. I picked the 49ers and the Eagles to make the playoffs. So
It's a good pick. We just
There.
didn't really care.
Oh,
There.
shit. Sorry, Chris.
there, right there, to both of yous.
I think I truly
If you
think
can't see.
I think Jimmy G will end this year on a good note, but I don't think he's there next year. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to ask for him for a trade. There's a lot. I think the Saints are going to be in on that trade. I don't know if I want Jimmy G, but you know, if you're the Saints or if you're one of these teams that need a quarterback, you know, you're looking at Russell Wilson's camp, who has so many rumors flying around him. You're looking at Jimmy G.
Russell Wilson's going to the Giants.
Jimmy G does.
Go ahead.
Russell, no way. Jimmy G's still got some leverage, but once he hits the market, it's like you don't know what you're going to get.
The NFC East is going to have the best quarterbacks in football next year. They're going to have.
I don't think
they're gonna
Wilson's
have
going to
Russell
Giants.
Wilson
Why
with the
would you wanna go
Giants.
to the Giants?
Deshaun Jackson's going to the Redskins, Washington team. You're going to have Dak Prescott there, and then you're going to have Minshew or whoever quarterback in the Eagles.
If you're Wilson, why would you even pick the
Because his
Giants?
wife's name Sierra. She
Yeah.
loves New York City.
Okay, whatever. Ace, what is your take on Jimmy G's situation?
Well, wasn't there some other stuff that came out too about like
Trash.
Yeah, Jimmy G. I don't know. I like I said, I think his leverage is better now but unfortunately, he's got to continue to play well.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, he's like, it all goes back to if he can stay healthy, then fine.
a lot of injuries.
Sure, but he's getting paid. He's next year, so he's getting paid $26.4 million now.
That's
next year's
cheap.
27.
That's cheap anymore.
The contract worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this. They actually front loaded the deal. They gave him 37. Oh, wow. The first year they gave him 41 million, almost 42 million off the cap. That would have been dead cap.
Yeah.
Right. They front loaded everything. So they're not, next year they're only liable for 14 mil. So they could cut him next year.
You think about the division.
cut him next
You
year.
think about the division that he's in, right? A lot of good quarterbacks, a lot of good teams. Say he comes to a team like New Orleans, where you have an Alvin Kamara, you'll have a Taysom Hill you could throw in the backfield. You got a great offensive line, right? He could thrive in that system. I don't know if I would want Jimmy G necessarily to be a guy that has a strong arm and a good pocket quarterback. You got great running back who you could toss the ball to for a screen. Be very interesting.
Michael Thomas.
If Michael Thomas comes
potentially.
back and you hit, and you know, if you get a Jimmy G, then you don't got to draft a quarterback in the draft. You could just do strictly wide receivers.
Hey, just so you guys know, since you were talking about caps, as of next year, the Miami Dolphins will have $75 million in cap space. The Chargers will have $75 million. The Jaguars will have $71 million. Cincinnati, $61 million.
You think
We
Miami
go
makes a big
all the way
splash?
down to, let's see, where's Minnesota? Where's New Orleans?
Miami.
Minnesota, Philadelphia
Miami
has
has to.
$15 million. The
My
Vikings
money's
are
on Deshaun Watson to the Dolphins.
the Vikings are minus 10 million next year. The Dallas Cowboys are minus 12 million. The New Orleans
I know, I
Saints
already know,
are
60.
minus $60 million next year.
But they've
That all changed.
they
Signing bonuses.
Yeah, they've already come out with a list of ways
Yeah.
they can easily be above
Yeah.
the cap. Now that's an interesting take, right? You have Miami has the
75
most
mil.
money. You think they're all in for two and they build around him, or they make a big splash for one of these quarterbacks like a Russell Wilson, a Jimmy Garoppolo, or Deshaun Watson?
Hey, if she come on, would you? If you're Sierra, would you rather have New York or Miami?
Miami all day.
Yeah.
Right.
It is a rich
Sorry.
area too. Come on, let's go to the shopping marts. Come on, go to the beach. There ain't
Boca
no-
Raton.
Hey, I'll be like, hey, Russell Wilson.
Beach?
Russell Wilson.
I
This is,
know.
this is Everything Goes podcast. Can I
sounds
just
like-
get a quick interview?
That sounds like Sunburn City down there.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking NFL, why don't we jump into coaches on the hot seat?
Very interesting. I'll
Oh,
read
I
the little
love
thing
it.
that came out today. An article came out that said Joe Judge is not on the hot seat, even though they are currently 4-9, haven't seen a winning season in a couple of years. But the co-owner, I guess there was a source inside the Giants that was telling the reporter that the co-owner, John Mara, however you say his last
Mara.
name,
He should be on the hot seat.
how he loves. They said even if the GM gets fired, they think that Joe Judge will definitely be back. They said that
Gettleman
they
sucks.
love Joe Judge and that he could possibly
Mm-hmm.
be our own Bill Belichick.
This is
Not
fun.
my words.
This is
Not
funny.
my words.
When the Giants were 3-5 and they said that this is their best start in like 6 years, that's enough right there. That's enough to tell you that the GM has to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Joe Judge, who is a special teams coach, has to go. They need to just go in there and just wreck the whole setup
Now,
and start over.
let me ask you guys: is 2 years enough to evaluate a coach?
Absolutely. Matt Rule, trash.
You're stealing my words. You just talk for me, Chris, because I was just gonna say, Chris, like when's the last time you heard of a coach firing their offensive coordinator? Like Joe Judge, speaking of that, got in a fight with his offensive coordinator last year, didn't he? Or like it was reported or something.
Yeah, I mean, and then
But they fired him at the end of the season, I thought, or
Yeah.
maybe whatever the case. Like Matt Rule just doesn't seem like. Plus the quarterbacks, like I don't know if you blame the owner or you blame the coach for bringing in Darnold, Bridgewater. I mean, no offense to these dudes, but like,
And that's another thing. Do you blame Rule?
Cam?
Do you blame Rule? Right? You have Sam Darnold. You're hoping that's a miracle, right? He starts the year off 3 or 4-0, right? Everything's going.
then they played Dallas.
Everything's going your way,
Yeah, yep.
and then they just
Got it.
totally suck, right? Like, do you blame the head coach? For that? I mean, you have high hopes
Yeah.
for these players to play well, and then they don't. At what point do you say, all right, it's not necessarily just the coach's fault? Like, we have to get a good player in there.
The problem is you know what, you don't have enough chemistry yet. You have a running
Yeah,
back who is the Mike Trout of the NFL. He's never healthy. He's overpaid.
They're wasting him.
Just-
They're
And
wasting him.
stat wise, when he's in, they play well.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a weapon, but they don't. You take away that weapon, you have no run game now. You can't do any tricks, and you've been through 3 or 4 different quarterbacks this season. Then you fire your offensive coordinator, who is gonna be picked up faster than anything because he's a great offensive coordinator. Matt Rule just made his bed and he has to lay in it because now his job will be on the line.
Cam Newton was definitely a Hail Mary, right? I think out of all these coaches we're talking
Made
about,
no sense.
No, I think out of all these coaches, right? There's a lot of heat around Urban Myers. I don't think you fire a coach after 1 year. I think out of all the coaches, I think Mike Zimmer and I think Nagy. Those are 2 coaches. I think, especially if Zimmerman doesn't make playoffs, I think he's
Yeah.
really on the hot seat.
Look, my thing is about
Yeah.
Zimmer, and then Ace, you can jump in since you're your team. Zimmer would make a hell of a defensive coordinator somewhere. I think Zimmer, Jason Garrett, and coaches like that, they make great college coaches because you get new players every 3 or 4 years.
Jason Garrett to Duke?
So they already said no. He wanted too much money. But those are the kind of coaches that belong in college because you know what? Every 3 or 4 years, you get new faces in there. It's not the same story over and over again. You're not hearing the same coaching plays. You're getting new recruits. So that's good. When you're in the NFL and you have the same professional athletes and you're doing the same stuff that they did in the 80s and 90s, it's going to get old. You have to make a change. And I just think
And it's complicated too. Apparently, it's a complicated defense to learn, so that doesn't help.
What's your
especially
view
when you're
on
trying to
Zimmer?
develop
What's
corners.
your view, Ace? If you're for all the Vikings fans out there, what are
He's
you
like
looking
a
at?
corner. Chris is absolutely right because what did I talk about earlier? It's in-game management. That's
Yeah.
stuff that like, McCarthy for the Cowboys, to go back to that, he relinquished his offensive duties so that he could focus more on and get, like, he's still getting, yeah, people still knock him down for that. But like, I agree. I just think Zimmer it's just not a fit. And frankly, the ownership just seems to be, I want to change. I don't know if the ownership is invested in winning like I want them to. Like what I see with the Packers, like what I see with the Saints, like what I see with the Cowboys, like what I see with right now the Chiefs because they got Mahomes, or like Tampa Bay for being somewhat recent. Like you can tell that they're invested to win.
Yep.
Well, the thing is you gotta change with the game. I mean, you got to bring in some fresh faces from college, like these college coordinators that are blowing it up down there. I mean, you see these guys throwing for 4,000 or 5,000 yards a season.
For Kingsbury too. Could look at Kingsbury.
Bring them in. And that's the thing about Zimmer. Zimmer's definitely not calling the offensive plays. He's a defensive-minded coach. He's probably calling all the defensive plays. So maybe you start with that. You start with a new offensive coordinator with all the weapons you guys have there.
Kubiak's bad. Or not bad, I should say.
He was bad in Denver.
Well, the son. It's the son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Clint's not bad, but I know we're going to talk about Baker Mayfield coming up, but there's been a power struggle with like rumors coming out locally that Cousins and Zimmer finally met face to face, and for the first time ever this year went over game film and like actually planned they're trying to make it seem like Cousins doesn't have as much freedom.
But Kubiak's probably going over his dad's gameplay calling from back in the day when they went to the Super Bowl. So when
I'm not smart enough.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to.
Let me ask you guys a question. I asked my friends this the other day. Would you rather be an NFL coach in college? Would you rather be a head coach in the NFL or college?
Right now, college.
And I picked
college is paying more.
Well, I picked college because I think number one, I think your team, right? I think players are playing at a higher level, right? I think in NFL, you see a lot of players that they'll get paid, and once their teams suck and they don't necessarily give it their all effort, I think the whole recruiting thing is a very cool thing. Like you're personally going out there and trying to get the players that you want. The atmosphere, I think, is a little better. I just feel like I don't get me wrong. I'd be blessed to be an NFL coach, right? But I just feel like
college football, it's more tedious though because you're recruiting. You're doing a lot of stuff in the off season. You have no life as a college coach. The thing that's crazy though is the last 3 contracts that came out in college football. I think there's only 3 NFL coaches that are making more money than those freaking coaches. So at the end of the day, it's you're going to earn your money as a college coach, but I don't know. I don't know because
I got to say NFL. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
The thing is you're working with adults, man, and they could tune you out. If they don't like you, man, you lose that 100%. Locker room like Urban Meyer. You're done. Yeah. You're washed up. You're done. You're done. They control your destiny. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Ty, you don't think? Do you guys? So you said you don't think Urban's on the hot seat?
He's on the hot seat.
This is my thing.
Because I feel like he's.
They're already working on a buyout plan.
My thing too is
probably
I want to know. I want to know how bad the situation is. Right. You can only take so much from the media. A lot of times. You see Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers goes on these podcasts, and 90% of the time he's telling you none of this stuff is as bad as the media blows up to be. Right? Obviously, you have players that are coming out and talking about the locker room.
Marvin Jones.
But my thing is, how bad is the situation? There's people saying that, he's blaming and yelling at the coaches. You should yell at the coaches, I think. I think you yell at players, right? But to an extent, you also need to be on these coaches. If you're going to be the new face and you need to get this organization who hasn't had a playoff appearance, I think, since Blake Bortles was the quarterback, you need to get on these coaches. To me, I want that. I want someone who's going to work on this.
Tyler, hot take. No one's talking about Oregon. Urban Meyer's going back to college to coach the University of Oregon.
No way. They talked about how much they'd have to buy him out to get out of the NFL. It'd be a ridiculous price.
But it doesn't go towards the salary cap. Coaches' salaries don't go towards the salary cap.
It would just be stupid. I think you give him another year. I mean, you also have to. You can't just look at Trevor Lawrence. Whoever's calling the plays. Trevor Lawrence isn't even having a breakout year yet.
Trevor Lawrence is trash. I mean, this year, it's not because of him as a player. It's because of the whole situation. I mean, he has 1 touchdown in last 7 games.
They said the play calling is terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Urban Meyer has to go. You got $71 million in salary cap. Get rid of him. The circus tent comes down. Start fresh. Once you lose grown men in the locker room and you lost respect to that team, you're never getting it back. He's done. Yeah. He's done. Why do you think Nick Saban went back to college? He couldn't make it in the pros.
See,
You know?
my personality though fits better with NFL. I don't want to be stuck trying to figure out what kids, college students are doing in their free time. I'd rather trust that like I've let a good foundation for these adults now to actually do things the right way.
Yeah.
And another thing is you can but at the end of the day, you're right though, Ty. You can bring them in no matter if it's college or NFL.
Yeah.
But I think my personality for sure fits kind of more the adult, where it's like they know their roles. They kind of find that anyways. You're just there like McCarthy to a sense. Freaking, get on them, chop watermelons.
I
do
think
whatever you
I
gotta-
think the
like, break-
atmosphere, like
Yeah.
the focus, like you gotta think there's 25 ranked
Yep.
teams. Everyone's fighting hard. Like there's no slacking off. Like you're
Oh.
like every single
Yes.
game is like a playoff game. You think about it. And
But-
I think I would be so pumped
Well, see,
to be a head coach in a college game.
Urban Meyer's a
Really?
rah-rah coach. Urban
Huh.
Meyer's a rah-rah coach, and professional athletes don't want to hear rah-rah coaches. You know what? They want to get in
Yeah.
there, do the film study, go to the practice, go to the games, and do their thing. So as a head coach in the NFL, you're only as good as your assistants. If you have great assistant coaches, I mean, look at Dan Quinn. They love him in Dallas. And this is a one-year done thing. He's gone after this year.
I think they keep him back.
You better pay him a lot of money because what he's doing now for Dallas's defense, you got to have so many teams that are going to be looking for a new head coach. Dan Quinn will be coaching. Kellen Moore, he's blowing his opportunity. With these play calling anymore, his auditions won't be that many, far and few. But Dan Quinn, he'll be in the NFL again as a head coach. Unless he chooses, unless he really loves what he's doing and they pay him a lot of money to be a coordinator, I think he's auditioning for a new job.
Oh man.
I really
That's
do.
interesting.
Last take that I have for you guys. How bad do you think the Baker situation is, and do you think Baker is staying as the Browns franchise QB? Yes or no?
No.
No. Yeah, I hate to agree, but hey, we don't script this.
I think the Browns are going to screw themselves.
I think Baker's done. I really do. I think with all the crap that's going on, with all the media stuff, I think he needs a new start, and I think the Denver Broncos is going to be his start. Denver's either going to get Aaron Rodgers or they're going to get Brady. I'm not Brady. Baker.
Baker.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Freudian slip.
I think
I think he'll do well in Denver. I really do. I mean, they have great weapons there. I mean, they have great weapons in Cleveland. They have a.
he already plays in the cold.
Yeah, I think
Is he
Denver would
gonna
be a
know
good
his
fit for him.
worth? Is he gonna know his worth? Because clearly, I think we all agree he doesn't deserve the upper echelon.
Yeah, but Baker might get paid
Contract.
because you think about how much quarterback talent is going to be available this offseason and in the draft, that there might be a team that might pull the trigger and say, hey, there's not any good quarterbacks. We'll pull the trigger and take him.
But if he's a free agent, he's going to have to take what people offer him. I don't think people are going to get in a bidding war over Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
if somebody offers him $35 million and nobody else comes to the table and offers him anything, what's he going to do? Say, no, I'm going to be a free agent and just sit out a year? That's foolish.
So apparently Baker had an interview with Kurt Warner. And apparently Baker was talking about how I didn't get to see the interview. I heard a lot of podcasts talking about it, radio shows, TV shows, where apparently Baker's not on good terms. Apparently Baker really wanted to discuss the fact about how bad he was injured. The Browns wanted to sugarcoat it and basically say, it's fine, he's fine. Obviously, we all knew Baker wasn't fine. He had 3 injuries at once.
Separated shoulder and some stuff.
Browns are
Torn
7-6 again. They're a winning team again. Was it 3 years in a row? If you're the Browns, you just think about how bad the Browns have been. That's my biggest argument every time we talk about it. Just think about how bad have the Browns been.
How many
And
quarterbacks have they had over the
that's-
years?
You think about that's the thing I always think about, the jerseys the fans would make with 30 names of quarterbacks. Like, you finally have a quarterback who's obviously he's not great, he's not elite, but he's not bad. He could be elite for all we know. He's winning. You just beat the division leader, the Ravens, who obviously Lamar goes down early. You beat you're 1 game out of first. You're in the playoff hunt right now. I just don't think you let someone like that walk away.
But that's why I think, to Chris's point, he does need a change in scenery. 'Cause
Yeah.
And good for
think
him.
about it,
If
this
he
has
does,
been
good for
boiling.
him.
This
If he
clearly
does.
has been boiling from him. And
Yeah.
you call him a baby for not being able to handle his emotions, whatever you want to say. But to come out to the media actually, or to actually talk to somebody, interview style, man, that I I'd like, you know what? The last 3 months, I would like to know what's going behind the scenes
Yeah.
with Odell Beckham being
Yep.
there.
Yep.
With, like, why couldn't they have done
Hard Knocks.
the in-game Hard Knocks? Yeah, instead of with the Colts, do it with the Browns.
That's
I mean,
another
but
thing too. You think
imagine-
about the drama that's
But
been
you
around
got-
that team this
You
year.
got Kareem Hunt's dad coming out and talking,
Yeah.
saying, "I'm not OBJ's dad. I'm just coming out and saying." But you know what? When you have grown men's parents coming out and talking crap about you as a quarterback, it's time to move on.
I
And
think there's a
that's
lot of
why
drama.
I hate. That's why I hate
Yep.
all these Twitters and I hate all
Yeah.
these Instagram. You know what? That's crap. You know, it just players play, parents cheer, and that's the end of the story. Shut your mouth. You know, just watch the game. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I love Baker's personality. I love that is competitive. He's vocal about it. I'd rather have that than a quiet guy that he loses, doesn't really talk about. Like, I want a guy that wants to win.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think he's
Hey.
got that.
I like the commercials he does. He
Vikings.
does though.
Him or Cousins?
Cousins.
You like the? Okay. Yeah, I shouldn't ask this because they're both like.
Rudy's gonna
Vegas
Rudy's gonna
pretty
chime in
legit,
on
bro.
this.
And that's what
Rudy
I,
Baker Cousins. I
Oh,
still
God,
I
Rudy, I'm sorry.
I still like Cousins. I mean, what does he have? 4 interceptions all year? That's solid.
Yeah, it's
come on.
easally Cousins.
I've said it multiple times. I said I would take Baker if they let him walk. I don't think he'll go to New Orleans, but you know, a coach like Sean Payton with a quarterback like that and a good running back, a good offensive
Baker
line.
reminds me of Tony Romo.
Really?
Really does. Yeah. You know, just
that's a good
he's a
take.
guy that's gonna spin out of pressure and he's gonna make a throw 50 yards down the field for a touchdown, or he's gonna throw an interception. I would
mean,
take him.
when you watch the
I would
tape,
take him.
too,
He
I mean,
reminds me of Tony Romo.
You watch the tape; he is running a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you put him on a team like Denver, the Saints, who have a decent offensive line. You know, maybe he will play better. He had 200 yards passing yesterday with 2 touchdowns.
Hey, Romo. He had Murray. He had Terrell for a period. Like he had some weapons. So that's like.
Yeah, but the thing is Romo never had the whole package.
No, never. And when he did, he got injured.
Dallas has had a great quarterback for 15 years. They've never had the whole package. This year, the Cowboys have the whole package, but all of a sudden now, offensively, something is going on that we just can't figure out.
I'll never forget that last drive that Romo came in against the Eagles, and he looked so good.
It breaks my heart
And
because
like,
I want
dang,
to see him win a
And then
win
he
a title.
retired. He probably could have kept playing.
Yeah,
He could probably still be playing.
Yeah.
he's making more.
But let me tell you,
money.
those back injuries after a
Tired.
while are probably like, I'm done.
So I think if you were to ask me where I think personally Baker wants to stay there because he
Yeah.
has a top offensive
Yep.
line and those 2 running backs.
Yep.
Right? And he's got everything, but this tells me that the team itself doesn't want him there.
That-
If you're gonna,
I think that's
if
what
he
it is.
feels that empowered to come out to say stuff, like it's gotta
Yeah.
be.
I think if a
To the
team
point.
doesn't, want me, I don't want to be there.
You tell me you guys wouldn't be a little bit excited about going to a Denver team with all those young receivers on that?
True, that's true.
Let me think.
Devontae Williams,
If I'm
Melvin Gordon,
Sutton.
if I'm Baker, I'm looking at a team like, oh gosh, let me even think. I'm looking at a team like Carolina, maybe warm
Carolina's looking for a
Warm.
quarterback. The Texans are looking for a quarterback.
Texas. You know, a warm place where I can spin the ball and not have to worry. You know, that's,
The Giants might be looking for a quarterback.
I'm not going to New York.
But
I'm
the
not
Giants,
going to New York.
But the Giants with Baker there in New York with all those weapons they
with
have there.
Saquon.
I don't want to start an argument toward the end of the show, but like a good quarterback makes a receiver better,
Oh
right?
God, yeah.
Okay.
What about Washington?
good.
What about Washington?
I mean, look at all those years Drew Brees made his running backs look good.
Oh yeah.
I think Baker dumping it off, 5, 6, 8, 10, whatever to
Speaking of Drew
McCaffrey,
Brees,
that doesn't sound bad.
Tom Brady passed another milestone last night and leads the NFL in career. What is it?
Touchdowns?
No, it was career completions or something like that
Yeah.
last night. With
I always praised quarterbacks like Drew Brees and Tom Brady because no matter fourth string receivers, they made those
Yeah.
because that's the difference between an elite quarterback and a good quarterback.
I always kid tie about Drew Brees, but Drew Brees would easily be in my top 5 or 8
Yeah,
in NFL
I was
history.
crazy when they came out with that bracket, whatever they made of top 20 quarterbacks of all time, and he wasn't even though at the time he held almost every single record,
Yeah.
and he wasn't even up there.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make sense. But Ace, do you have a hot take for us before we close this? Anything besides me winning more money, possibly?
This is really gonna kill Rudy too, but honestly, just if we don't want to re-sign Kirk, I'm saying this hypothetically, if we don't want to re-sign Kirk, if we don't, I gotta say it just so that it's if he's not on the team, get Baker. Why not?
Ooh.
He's
Or
Kevin
Gardner Minshew?
Stefanski-
Like your
Kevin
dream coming true?
Stefanski was under Zimmer. He was under Zimmer as the offensive coordinator last 2 years ago before he got to Baltimore or Cleveland. So why not?
Hey, or Gardner Minshew.
Stop it.
I'm not
Stop
gonna lie.
it.
This is one off season as a Saints fan that
might
I am
take him over.
I am very looking forward to, because we won't have a starting quarterback because Winston only signed a 1-year deal. So I'm very intrigued what we do with our future.
Gardner or Baker? Gardner or Baker?
Oh, Baker all
Would you
day.
rather-
Baker all day. Come on now. Come on. You got anything you want to add?
Yeah, my hot take is the Dallas Cowboys, and this is going to be a two-part one. First, the offense. I mean, top offense in the league. They keep saying we're the top offense in the league, but I don't know how.
I don't believe that.
I mean, since week, I think 7, we haven't done anything. And Dak, since Atlanta, his QBR rating is a 10, a 45, a 39.9, and a 9.8. It's trash. The red zone, we're 1-5. We were 1-5 against Washington. Almost said the Redskins again. I just said it. We're 1-5 in the red zone. We have 1 TD in the last 19 possessions in the red zone. That's horrible. Dak's decision making. There's something clearly wrong with Dak, and I don't know if it's injury or mental. I know we've made a lot of changes on the offensive line, but just for instance, yesterday rushing, instead of throwing the ball away like most quarterbacks do, no, he runs out of bounds 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, come on. That's mental mistakes that you can't be making. The offense isn't clicking. He's not throwing like he used to. His completion percentage is way down. He missed guys wide open yesterday. Bad throws and just something doesn't seem right with him. And I don't know what it is. They're saying he's healthy, but then it's mental and it's bad.
Great hot take. Great hot take.
And my other hot take is Micah Parsons should be the rookie defensive player in the year and the defensive player of the year. Hasn't been done
Put it
since
down,
Lawrence
baby.
Taylor. His stats, he has 6 straight games with 9.5 sacks. In that span, total now he has 12. He got 16 quarterback hits, 10 tackles for a loss, 3 forced fumbles, and in my eyes, that's the best player right now in football.
The NFL
In
is
football.
easy. The NFL is not hard. Come on, that's what
Yeah.
he said. That's what he said.
The lion wants to hunt, and this guy,
That's a good hot
this
take.
this guy is going to end up with 18 sacks before the season's over.
Wow. My hot take of the week: New Orleans Saints upsets Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay.
I love it. We need it. We need it.
Well, guys, if you have not seen, we are back on YouTube. The videos are going to be up every single week. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
All of them.
All of the platforms that you could think of. Me and Aaron have been very, very nicely editing these videos for you guys.
I'm all over the Twitter.
Hey, yes, you are. We have to get Aaron in
Yes.
charge of something. Maybe the Facebook page.
He said no.
But We'll be go-
Instagram
We
or
hope you-
YouTube. Let me manage YouTube.
okay. We hope you guys enjoy this week, and we will see you guys next time.